Now that The Acolyte has finally come to an end, mercifully, after 7 weeks of dog shit from Disney Star Wars, The Acolyte season finale finally came to a close, and it left people very, very upset because this entire season, it has been just failure after failure, problem after problem. We knew it was going to be bad. We thought it was probably going to be because of all the identity politics that's constantly shoved into everything and anything. However, it ended up being far worse than that. Just on a basic level, the people that made this show were incompetent in almost every way. When you look at the writing, the storytelling, the character development, the nonsensical things that happened within the Star Wars universe, and of course, the retconning of so many things with so many characters, it was an abomination. And of course, Leslie Headland in the immediate aftermath is begging fans of the show, the dozens of them that exist out there, please, 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 let's get season 2. Please tweet about it. Please tell everybody you know. We need to get this show renewed. But right now, there's no real renewal in sight, at least at this point. And I think that makes sense because this show, despite the mainstream media's best efforts, has been a complete and total disaster. The media lied to everybody. They tried to tell everyone that this was just a smash hit and all the haters are just lying to you. But when the actual numbers came out, it was abysmal. Not only were the first couple episodes that we saw on Nielsen just piss poor, but after 3 weeks, it fell completely off the charts. This is a record fucking low for Disney Star Wars streaming series. And considering what we've seen, that's saying a lot. But now, as she continued to go out there and talk about things, there are still articles that are popping up. Leslie Headland doing interviews at different places, trying to explain herself. And it really just makes you wonder, how the fuck did they let this happen? These are the people who are in charge of Star Wars now. Leslie Headland turned Star Wars to its dark side. The Acolyte creator renders a, quote, positive corruption arc and faces her past in a galaxy far, far away. Now, I want to go to this because the viewpoint of this show is to try to show you that it's a good thing that Osha's falling to the dark side, that you should be happy that she turns, kills Soul, and joins forces with Chimera for their weird, abusive relationship shit that they have going on. That's what the show wants you to think, and it's completely true. Like, look at what we have here. I got to find it. In the finale, you introduce a cameo from Darth Plagueis watching over May and the Stranger. That was Osha and the Stranger. You retarded fuck. Even the people, even the dumb motherfuckers that are interviewing that actually care about this stuff can't get it right. He's the Sith Lord master to Palpatine, only mentioned briefly in the films, but something of a fan favorite to those who know. You mean to those who actually know about Star Wars, who read the Plagueis novel, who are actually invested in things? You know, the things you're throwing out the fucking window, that you're retconning, that you're shitting all over. Yeah, go fuck yourselves, you fucking queers. But sometimes a fan favorite to those who know, and there are a lot of memes about Palpatine's monologue to Anakin in episode 3. Why did you want to involve him? Quote, with these two other people having gone through this positive corruption arc and coming together in a joining of forces and romantic pairing, we always wanted to introduce Plagueis as a foreboding complication. We know Plagueis' apprentice ends up being Palpatine, so it'd be interesting to see how these two red lightsaber-carrying warriors fit into that story. Holy shit. A positive corruption arc coming together and joining a forced romantic pairing. They want you to think this is a good thing. And you know the reason why? Because of this next article that we're about to get into. Leslie Headland reveals Osha killed Master Soul in the Acolyte due to benign sexism. He is imposing on her agency at that point. If you couldn't tell already, pretty much everybody in the Acolyte writers' room probably has father issues, daddy issues. Maybe that's why they all end up being weird, unfuckable, pansexual lesbians, they, thems, whatever the fuck. Leslie Headland clearly has those daddy issues as well, because in her world, someone simply being a father figure and trying to protect someone they love, that is benign sexism. Let's get into this shit. What the fuck? Now, this is in an interview with Collider. Listen to what happens. What's so interesting about that moment where Osha kills Soul is how much is conveyed even when he's choking on his words. Also, maybe it was my impression of it, but my first thought was, he doesn't even give her the agency to make this choice herself because he's accepting his fate. It just adds so much more insult to injury. You can't even let her get a satisfactory kill because you're like, it's okay. It's so good. keep women away from Star Wars. I'm just being real. Keep women away from Star Wars. The ones that loved it and have loved it for forever, that's fucking amazing. But the ones who are like this, keep them the fuck away. They have destroyed Star Wars completely and utterly. And this is Leslie Headland's reaction. We also knew it was always going to be the betrayal of the father. And I knew we had to juxtapose Luke's forgiveness and Vader's redemption. We're like, this is a story about the Sith, so that's not going to happen. You're absolutely right. There's this thing that's called benign sexism. And part of it is this paternal protectionism. It seems like this good thing, but like you said, there's this quote, I have to protect you from everything. I have to make sure you're okay. I have to tell you what track to get on. And then once you're on that track, I need to support you. Ultimately, what happens, again, this is a father-daughter relationship. As women evolve in their lives and develop their own personalities separate from their fathers, at some point, they have to reject that protectionism. Again, I'm so proud of it. I have so many favorite moments in the show. I have like 100, and I'm happy to go through all of them right now. One of my favorite moments is when he says, I did everything because I love. He's going to say, I love you. And not only is that level of attachment unbalanced Jedi would have, he very clearly is losing it in the last half of this season, but it's also the justification for that kind of behavior between the father and the daughter. The daughter has to surpass him in some way. She can't stay a little girl or an adolescent or a young adult. She has to at some point say, I reject what you've told me. I reject what you have told me I need to do to make you proud, to follow in your footsteps. She has to do that. I do think when he says it's okay, I think you're right. He's imposing on her agency at that point. But I think in a weird way, she needed it. She needed his acceptance, not his approval, but his acceptance. If you haven't got it already, this entire thing was made from the Witch Coven, rejecting the Jedi's patriarchal view of like whatever. It is a commentary from a bunch of lesbians about not being free to live their own lives. And this whole daddy issue thing is just another part of that. This is what Star Wars is now. And this is why it's an unmitigated disaster. The Acolyte, far and away, is the worst product we have ever seen from Disney Star Wars. That is saying something because they've put out a lot of dog shit over the past decade. But holy fuck. I know a lot of YouTubers might want a season 2 because a lot of people love shitting on this show. But please, Lord have mercy on us and do not let a season 2 of this dog shit happen.